All right. 30 minutes. Mexico. Spain. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Guess I'll look into Spain. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll just start on it. When I feel like it. When I don't feel like playing video games. Alright, let's see. Is everything alright? Is everything all set up? Is everything good? Let me pause that. Wait. Is everything good? Yeah. Let me check. Let me check the live. It's paused. Let me check the preview. Let me check the. All right, everything's fine. I guess. The regular thing. I'm just gonna pause the preview. Maybe it's paused for kick. Is it paused for kick? Nope. Nope. Alright, cool, cool, cool. I guess just the preview. Alright, 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 alright. Guess it's just me. I'll just probably do some shading for 20 minutes and then probably I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could work on the translation or yo, sorry for leaving early last stream. I was totally out of it. No, I completely understand. Also, welcome G4. And Comic Can will not be joining us or Levy. So that's unfortunate. Well, Comic Ken, he had family matters to attend to, and Levy had to celebrate his birthday. so, so Plan A didn't work out. Plan B didn't work out. So I'm just doing what I can. Actually, I feel like this is fine. Bruh. No, I told you that this is usually what happens. Why I don't really feel like doing stuff, just collaborations. I told him like whenever he has like a time, I'm willing to do it. But I know just by doing it enough times that collaborations tend to fall through because YouTube YouTube stuff just isn't serious. Like I tend to like not plan anything. If somebody wants to do something, I'm like, we're gonna do it now or never. Hold up. Yeah, here we go. If you want to do it, we gotta do it now. But I was really thinking about what we were probably going to talk about. Realistically, it would just be a just talking situation where where I think I've done that several times with other comic creators. Well, specifically, mostly with a 7th October with Ralph, where my previous live streams with them were completely unscripted. We were just talking about whatever came to our mind. We're just straight up free flowing. And I was thinking about what we might talk about, because what was interesting to me was, I don't it was what was interesting to me was, I was so stuff he would be talking about in his video, and just generally the whole comic scene, indie comic scene is going on right now. And I looked into Young Wavy's stuff, whatever he's got going on. And I thought it was a very interesting thing to look at, because I see what he's trying to do when it comes to making several imprints. It wouldn't be what I would do, but like everybody's kind of. But I'm not here harping on whatever anybody's practices, because everybody's kind of at ground zero until we all kind of figure out how we can make it. And I listened to a little bit of his video, having a falling out with Coffee Comics. I didn't listen to a lot of it because unfortunately I didn't really like his mic quality. But Young Wavy's trying to go to Japan again. Well, more power to him, honestly. It's a lot more than like. I mean, it's a vision, right? More power to him, because he probably sees something within that market that I just absolutely don't know, or I am just not willing to forego the liberties of being a Western artist to adopt the Japanese work ethic. In his falling out with Coffee, his mic quality was so terrible I can only hear through one ear. Yeah, I try. Usually, I have a speaker right below my monitor, a Bluetooth speaker right below my monitor, and it was kind of bad that I had to like put up my headphones back in and blast my the volume just so I can make out what he was trying to say, especially when listening on time 2 speed. And I'm not saying he talks slowly, I just tend to listen to times 2 speed a lot. You know what's really funny? I noticed that I should start drawing more characters with facial hair, because it's been a while since I've seen somebody from high school, and when I do, not from high school, but like high schoolers, but when I do see high schoolers, I just notice that they're just having like full beards and mustaches, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what the heck? It's like, but I kind of forget that there were classmates of mine who had full on beards at like freaking 16. It's like I'm like I'm like, yeah, I mean, I didn't have I can barely grow a full beard in mutton chops, but then I forget that some kids just have that grown up gene to look freaking 30 at 16. So, hey, just be like that. And I just have to remind myself, if I draw characters, might maybe draw them with facial hair, because I'm pretty sure, like, I think at that time in your life you want to be seen as an adult, so you'll openly welcome any adult uh, characteristics. The new generation looks older, while the younger. Well, hey, sketch. The new generation looks younger, looks older. Wait, the new generation looks younger, while also looking younger, while being older. It makes no sense, dude. I know. I was having a stroke while reading that. That was crazy. But no, I know what you're talking about. But I remember when I was reading, when I was not reading, but when I was watching one of Young Wavy's videos about Sketch on YouTube. Yeah, Sketch. Well, he Sketch goes on YouTube um, Twitch isn't working. But when I live stream, I want to try. Well, actually, I should probably. He isn't streaming on Twitch. Honestly, I should probably stream back on Twitch because nobody really watches these streams on Kick. I'm dual streaming to Kick, but just to see what's going on. But I've been doing that for like a month and nothing's happening. So let me just switch over. But actually, no. I need Sketch on. I need Sketch on YouTube. I need Sketch on YouTube because I need the what do they call it? I need the the watch hours so I can get monetized. I probably would have been monetized by now if Sketch was watching on YouTube instead of Twitch. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Nah, but anyway, I was listening to Young Wavy's video talking about wanting to expand into a global market, and me thinking endlessly about shortcuts. I was like, what do you mean expand to a global market? I'm like, you can just put whatever you want on a blog and translate it and run ads on those on like whatever foreign country, and there you have your foreign market if you know how to monetize your blog, if directed towards people who actually want to read independent manga or independent comics. Like that's what my mind went to. So I was thinking maybe I can just go back to maybe I can just like go like download a local LLM, like feed it my transcript and say translate this to Spanish or something like that, and then I wouldn't have to manually redo the text of the comics. That's gonna be a pain, but it'll be an experiment nonetheless to see if a Spanish speaking audience would gravitate or support me more than an English speaking one. That'll be an interesting experiment. Did you get the new PC parts yet? Yes. The RAM came in. Well, no. The RAM came in. Was it the RAM? Yeah. The No. The motherboard came in last night. The RAM and the CPU and the cooler came in today. And I couldn't assemble it yet because the guy who sent me the motherboard didn't send all of the parts for the CPU heatsink harness. Because I already applied the thermal paste on the CPU and the cooler, but what I was missing was a harness that goes below the motherboard so I can attach the cooler onto the motherboard. And not only that, I was looking all over the box that he sent me, and I only saw half of the parts. And not only half of the parts, like 2 of the 4 screws that I needed to screw the harness into the motherboard. So I have to hold off of fully assembling the PC until the harness that I ordered online comes in the mail, which is probably going to be like 2-3 days. So the build has to be put off yet again. And I decided to buy a new power supply unit because I feel like it's just gonna happen. I'm probably gonna have to do that some other sooner or later if I'm going to get a more powerful GPU. That's gonna cost more power, but hey, I mean, I'm not gonna get a new GPU anytime soon because a lot of GPUs are pretty expensive. Uh, but right now, I think the modern culprit of my live streaming issues has to be CPU focused because when I was looking up my CPU, it wasn't. It's so funny to see that it was released in 2010. It wasn't a 20, it's not a 2011 CPU. It's a 2010 CPU. I mean, the new CPU that I just bought that arrived is a 2020 CPU. So I get a 10-year. I get to see. I get to experience that 10-year leap in performance from a 4 core to an 8 core CPU. And maybe these art programs will run a little bit better. Well, this already runs pretty well. I just can't. It's just a little bit more difficult for me to stream on whatchamacallit, different platforms, which I can't really think of the name right now because my brain is farting right now. But it should be I should be able to like stream games. I hope I can be able to stream games a lot easier, and also I should be able to video edit and just make content a lot faster. Maybe, hopefully, we'll trans. Oh my gosh, did I do the wrong thing? Yeah, I did do the wrong thing. Great. Nobody has to know. Whatever, nobody has to know. Wrong layer, don't care. Nobody has to know. But yeah, it has to be put on the put on weight for the time being. For the time being, nobody's as sad as me. Oh well, woe is me. But yeah, not to what I was saying about the audience thing. I'm interested in seeing what would come about if I focused on doing some sort of rudimentary translation to a different to like a different language and see if I'll gain an audience that way. I mean, it's worth a try. But how's everybody doing? What are your thoughts on Kickstarter culture? Would you create one? I mean, I would like Kickstarter a lot more if I had a successful one. I think I tried several Kickstarters and it didn't work out. like if it did work out, then I would try to find a way to make it work for me. But right now, I don't have like high hopes with Kickstarter because it's pretty much it's pretty much not a very sustainable thing. It doesn't sound like a sustainable thing, or I haven't talked to anybody or heard any stories of people making Kickstarter a sustainable thing. And if people who make successful Kickstarters, it really isn't worth it. I know Comic Ken specifically when he was doing his Kickstarter that it was an exhausting thing for him because it was a lot of his efforts went to getting people to know about the Kickstarter and funding it to fund it instead of making the comic itself. So I don't really see, and plus I don't really see it. Like it would, like a Kickstarter would it would make sense if you already have a finished product that's ready to print, and you're just doing something as a publicity push. To get more people to know about it. But as a core way of getting of making it substantial, making it like a work. No, I don't see it. Not a big fan. Big ups for people who make it work though. Mostly it's just people banking on a pre-established audience. Or being a part of a network of friends. Like what I'm mostly interested in is being nobody and still being able to cultivate an audience while being not well known. Because I fully have given up on the idea of gaining notoriety in any large sense of the idea. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. My personality is fit for it, but it's just the age of the internet today is just not happening. It's just not happening. Like what I'm doing is cool, but it's just not fit for the current age of the internet. So people like me would have to do something. They would have to like learn from different fields in order to find out what makes the most sense for them moving forward. Like for me, what I might go back to is following the what was it? The internet art, like the internet music route. Learning how artists are able to make money making music and see if I can transcribe some of the principles of what they're able to do with what I'm trying to do. Like I've done that before, but I think I just kind of fell off from that because something else caught my eye. And plus, I took a break. Yeah. Plus, I know a little bit more about what I'm trying to do than back then. So I feel like a little bit comfortable going back and trying again with this newfound knowledge. Yeah, don't expect. Yeah, don't expect to make a Kickstarter. Nobody knowing who you are, and just making it a successful. Like the days of what was it? Potato salad. Potato salad Kickstarter is over. The indie route is the hardest. Oh yeah, absolutely. But nothing. But anything difficult. I mean, if it was easy, then you would have a lot of people do it. It would be oversaturated. It'd be like AI imagery. It would just be oversaturated. Before you say YouTube was the least hard, before you used to say YouTube was the least hard of the social media, you try Webtoons, Twitter, Instagram to gain attention. Do you still believe it? Um, yeah, I still believe that. It's very easy to get into YouTube. It's very easy to get into YouTube. I say that because I mean I'm still able to make with everything said and done. I still have like a thousand subs for whatever that's worth. It's not really mean anything, but I was still able to get 1,000 people to hit subscribe. I can't even say that to with a Instagram. I can't even get a single person to look at a post on Twitter. Um, and Webtoons, just forget about any serious thought with that. Reddit's really cool. I might go back on Facebook because they do have a YouTube like monetization program, and I want to learn a little bit more about that again, so I can see if I can gain an audience on Facebook that I can monetize. Because I tried it a little bit, but I had a flood of South Asians just following me, and I just didn't know what to do with that. So I just didn't know what to do with that, so I just deleted it. I was like, it might be not good. It might be the bad thing to have like a lot of people following you and not interact with your post. Wait, on which platform? Facebook. I remember I had like a ton of friend requests being sent my way on Facebook, and I thought that having a lot of friends would be a good thing. But then I was like, oh, but then doing a little bit more research, it was not good. It's not a good thing. So I kind of left Facebook and I deleted everything without understanding because I was like, I just didn't know what to do next. But now I'm back on Facebook to see if I can try again. and see if I can monetize. See, like, if I can make a bit of monetization off of the platform. Like, it would be cool to have like a conglomerate of other creators trying to find out how to max out the potential of other platforms, so we don't have to make our own. I was gonna call them labels, but imprints. So everybody don't have to make their own imprints, signed to other, to sign to other imprints or sign to other publishing companies, because we already have the internet. We already have what these imprints are already doing, right? And they don't even know how to market books anymore. So the independent creator has no reason to go to them, probably only for legal reasons, for legal protection, if you don't want to handle that by yourself. But when you make enough money, then dude, like, it's whatever. It's literally whatever. Like, no one's really out here copywriting trolling or trademark trolling. Like, independents who don't really matter, because there's no money in that. I just saw a shadow outside the. I saw my window. I thought that was like a bird or something. Yeah, like I said, I wish people would focus more on trying to. They probably got discords for that. That's I no, I really don't like discords, because everybody on Discord, they just want to promote themselves. Really. If there is a Discord, I haven't. If there is a useful Discord, I haven't heard of it. Any Discord that talks about like independent comics is just people go there to promote their own stuff and talk about nothing. And it's easy to get the depressed real quick. Oh yeah. Like, I saw a video of someone transform their comic to a Roblox game and promote it through this medium. Yeah, that's a way to do it. Yeah, that's absolutely a way to do it. I mean, I tried turning a game out of my comic, but then I, yeah, going through the Roblox route it's such a good idea if you have the time and patience, and if you're already a developer. I'm just not a Roblox guy, so I didn't really go down that route, which I probably wasn't a. Well, the guy, yeah, it's probably like the best for that guy, for knowing what he's good at and mixing those two interests, because you can make money as a Roblox developer. That's a smart way to going about it. Like, everybody is pretty much so interested in making money in routes that doesn't fit their circumstances. And that Roblox example is a guy that understands his circumstances, understands what he's good at, taking inventory of himself, and knowing what he's able to. And I don't know how successful like that his Roblox game is, but that the idea of itself is pretty good. 'Cause I don't think it costs anything to have a Roblox game. Hmm. Let's see. I would absolutely love to figure out. Yeah, like, I would absolutely love to figure out how people are able to use like just publicly available tools that anybody can use to let their to get the word of their comic out to the right audience. And hopefully that way it'll be the biggest avenue for like a meritocracy type thing. He makes like 2,000 selling skins. I wish I was able to come up with ideas like that. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of when I used to say where you start isn't really where you're gonna blow up necessarily. Like yeah, you can do that. I just haven't found out what works for me, you know? And what can be replicated by people with the know-how. But right now, everybody's just focused on making their own imprints, making their own dungeons, making their own shonen jumps. That's just not what I'm interested in. Actually, this is not a good idea. You've been studying one-shot comics and storytelling techniques all week. Have you applied them to an actual story? I figured out since I like colored comics, I might as well drop the idea of long-running series on focus on short one-shots. Yeah, do that. Absolutely do that. Like what I do with the way that I write every volume as a complete story, like an episode of a show, like volume 1 of Just a Reaper. That has like a 30-minute like you can read all of it in 30 minutes. It's meant to be read in 30 minutes, right? Because it was originally written as a TV show. And through that, like everything that I want to write, especially through Purgatory Academy and Metal Hero and Chimera Island, I want all of them to have pretty short, like varying runtimes, but I want every volume, if not, well, in like Chimera Island's case, I want every chapter to be read like a one shot. Like you don't really need to read chapter 2 or previous chapters to enjoy the current one. Like it would help give you it would help add like context, but I want everything to be more or less. I want to tell a story, but in every chapter, but I want it to be its own. I want it to be read in a sense of it can be your first time reading it or your last time reading it, and I got that idea mostly because of selling in markets where a lot of people who buy, that's going to be the first and the last time they'll ever see me or anything of me ever again, right? So I want to keep that going, that idea going, that it might be the last thing, the last thing that they're going to read, and I want what the thing that they're going to read something that they will enjoy, and not wonder what the heck is going on, right? Not, oh man, I gotta read like 6 quadrillion pages so I can catch up. I'm trying to figure out how I can do this. Do you feel like you spent a lot of money on do you feel like if you spent all that money you did on ads, you had instead spent on paid reaction review content, would have been more efficient? I can't really answer that because I haven't done paid reaction reviews on stuff, honestly. I don't think I would. I don't think I would pay somebody to react or review my comic. To be honest with you, mostly because I don't really go through the research. Well, no, mostly because I know how the YouTube algorithm works, right? And people are not going to click on a video of something that they really don't want to read. You have to like go for the people who honestly really knows the game of YouTube titles and thumbnails to the point, titles and thumbnails to make it work. And most people just don't. It feels good to talk about like indie stuff, but most people aren't going to talk about it because there's no buzz around it. The whole thing about YouTube, especially when it comes to YouTube being good, is YouTube having a good video to talk about is a currently popular or trending person, place, or thing. And if your comic isn't a popular person, place, or isn't popular, then people wouldn't want to make a video about it. They're wasting energy and resources on a video that may not do well. And if a YouTuber makes a video that doesn't do well, that's a waste of time and energy, which could be put on a video that they know that will do well. I mean, there are plenty of videos like "This Manga Changed My Life," and it's some random obscure manga, and it gets hundreds and thousands of views. Right. Right. I think you would have to okay, so your homework would be looking at those videos and then looking at the state of the person who made said video, right? So that subject the subject of that video, you would have to see if it did any substantial change to that YouTuber. I honestly want to get to the point where YouTubers will just talk about my video, will talk about the comics, and I don't have to pay them to do so. Like, you can, that way, it will be that way the person won't have to waste time to hype up a paid promotion, to a promotion, you know? Because, like, if you're paying somebody to talk about your video, it's just going to read as an ad. I don't want to shoot down every idea, but a lot of it sounds like something that I've heard that's been done before, and I know why it doesn't do well, right? Just by listening to other YouTubers, right? You have the first hurdle that nobody knows it. You have the second hurdle of if it's going to be a paid review, then they're not going to be really into it. The third hurdle is you have no idea if that video is going to do well, right? And I say, like, the hard part, like, I would prefer to do the difficult part. And that difficult part is being able to build, to be able to, not much of an audience, but to be able to make it profitable by any means necessary, so it can have its own audience. So people will be able to share or make videos about it without you asking them to do it. So you don't need them to do it. It's what I used to call a paradox of notoriety, for the lack of a better word. And I remember using that first when it comes to being signed on I keep calling it a label, which is not a label, but when it comes to a publishing house, right? Nobody at a publishing house wants to sign you. Nobody in a publishing house really wants to do that unless you are already famous. For an example, didn't Corey Kenshin sell Monsters We Make to IDW, to a different imprint, which he really didn't need to? He has millions of subscribers, but yet he still went to another imprint to focus on it. Same with Eric July. They went to a different imprint so they can just focus on making the stories, and they'll focus on publishing around. So to have that workload off of them, because they are able to do that, because they can do that because they have the clout to do that in the first place. People like you and me, we aren't able to do that. We can't really just go up to a publishing house and say, "Hey, will you take my thing?" And they'll say "Oh yeah, sure." Because Eric July or Corey Kenshin, they can go to any publishing house and they can just look them up and say, "Oh, you have this amount of views or this amount of subs or this audience. Yeah, we'll use that, and we'll help you out." Yeah, it's a mutual thing. It'll be more of a mutual partnership instead of charity. And the same thing kind of goes around to the paid reaction, where the paid reaction is more paying people to react to it. At a point, it kind of turns into charity. Yeah, it makes sense, but I still think the return on investment might be better on paid reviews than ads, since using appeal to authority from a YouTuber or blogger is a direct call to action. Maybe. Oh, shoot. I did the wrong thing. I mean, you would probably do better off than I would, because I'm just not a social guy. And plus, I don't even know how much... Yeah, because I'm not really a social guy. it comes to being online. Yeah, try that. Yeah, go ahead and try that method. Let's see. What's your favorite genre of literature? My favorite genre of literature. Kind of have. I really don't think about that, honestly. For the majority of my time engaging with literature, it really comes down to listening to what people. It really comes down to the recommendations of people, recommendations of the people who of people, and what and how that literature changed them, right? Oh shoot, drop the thing. Hey, F in the chat, what's up? Man, I don't know. Like how much would it cost for a YouTuber to do a video? Like, I know, oh my gosh. Like, oh my god, I'm going back to that idea. Going back to that idea, goodness gracious. Where are people getting these videos? Influencer pay. Oh my gosh, let's see. Creator tier. How much would you pay? I'm seeing, like, I'm looking at, that gave me a thought. Like, how much would it be? People say, like, nano. Like, going to, like, a thing called mysocial.io. This blog kind of breaks down. I'm guessing what advertisers usually approach influencers. What advertisers usually go to approach influencers when it comes to like brackets, and in your brackets is by your subscribers, which is like 1K to 10K, which is a nano, which I would be considered a nano influencer, and people would pay me like 200 to 1,000. Which, if you're a nano, anybody around like 1,000 to 5,000, depending on the notoriety of the influencer. My maximum is 80% per video, though. Yeah, depending, like 80% per video, dude. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We will absolutely see. I want to see what $80 would get you for paying influencers. But companies usually pay nano influencers like $200 to $1,000. Micro, which is like 10K to 50K, which is like, so, and they pay them like what, 1,000 to 3,000. Mid tier, 50K to 500K, 3,000 to 10,000, which probably you're gonna be around. You're gonna stick around Nano. I can tell that you're gonna stick around Nano. Cause anybody in the micro, yeah, get it. Yeah, I feel like good luck getting a an email back with micro. Anybody with 10,000 to 50,000. Anybody close to 50,000 subs, yeah, I feel like good luck getting getting an email back. 50,000 to 500K, nah. Yeah, that mid tier, yeah, nah. That would be like freaking charity work. Let me check. This manga changed my life. Who's making this manga change my life? Dudes like Rencaps. Dudes like Bone. Like, okay, Micro. What was that? Rencaps. 20K. No, Quiet You. So, what would they call this one? Micro? Like 2 micros? Yeah, yeah, they're 2 micros. Akiro with a million views on one thing. How much you got? Oh, 50K. Another one that's above 50K. Man, these people will run your pockets. I can tell these people will absolutely run your pockets. The Mask Man, forget about it. If I really like the style of the YouTuber, I would max out at 160. I feel like someone like the Mask Man would do it for like less than 3 minutes short for that price. Ooh, the Masked Man. He got like half a mil. The Masked Man got 500,000 subscribers. Doing it for, oh my gosh. If I got if I got 500,000 subscribers and someone's offering me like $160 to talk about their comic, I'd be like, I wouldn't respond. I would not respond personally. Not not because I want to be mean, but if I did that, I would have so many other people knocking down my door to do the exact same thing to the point that it's not going to be worth it anymore. And not only that, I remember this one guy, Synthetic Man. He said that if you do that too much, you're risking like the reputation of your audience. If you're doing stuff like that, dude. If I'm getting like 500,000 subscribers, if I have 500,000 subscribers, and dude, AdSense, like I get more in AdSense from doing that video alone, right? And if I did do that video, my reputation would take a hit, because I can easily be the guy that would just talk about webcomics that I don't care about for a quick buck. I'm just gonna be the webcomic shill guy. I'll just be the ad guy that read like webcomics shills webcomics I don't even read. Yeah, I need to target less than 50K subscriber YouTuber. I know oh man, I feel bad about this, but I remember there was this one webcomic guy, this one indie comic guy, who sent me an email asking if I wanted to review his comic, and I said that I would, but I never really got around to doing it because I was just busy. Like, I wanted to do it. I know he messaged me, and he messaged Coffee Comics, and Coffee ended up doing it. But I really could, like, dude, I couldn't for the life of me. I read the comic, And I'm not saying the comic was bad. I just couldn't. I just didn't. I just hate making videos. That's my problem. I hate making videos to the bottom of my heart. I thought I would be able to do it, but I couldn't. I just hate making videos that much. But he didn't pay me or anything. He just asked if I would do it. And also, you can look at, I guess Coffee Comics' channel is another example of maybe that's not going to work out that well, because isn't like a third of his videos reviewing independent comics that people on his Patreon donate to him to review? Just sent you some random art books I have on Discord. I have a crap ton of different books. Just let me know what type of books interest you. Dude, I really wholeheartedly wish that I had the... Oh my gosh, can I... Yeah, hold up. I wholeheartedly wish that I had the, Shoot. You know what? Screw it. Let me just go on my... I'm gonna go on my phone. Where's my phone? It's right here. I wish I liked ebooks. I wish I loved ebooks. I see it. Thank you. I just wish I liked ebooks. If it's not physical, I have an attention span of a goldfish. If it's not physical, I just forget about it. I just forget it. I just forget it exists. Unfortunately. I appreciate it. I'll download it. I'll hopefully look at it sometime. But, dog, if it's not physical, I'm going to forget. I bought like a book from Barnes and Nobles not too long, like a couple months ago. I bought this. This was such an expensive book. For me personally. This. And I haven't cracked it open yet, ever since I bought it from Barnes & Nobles. It's Framed Ink 2. Frame format, energy, and composition for visual storytellers. I haven't opened it up yet, because I just don't have the time to read stuff. And not only that, like, I'm still in my marketing kick. Like, as soon as I figure out marketing, then I'll go back to diving my head under like a bunch of influences while I make stuff again. I personally don't like Coffee Comics' way of talking. It's too vulgar, so no. Oh. Okay. I was using him as an example of why something like that, just like paying somebody to look at your comic, might not be a surefire way. It might not be the surefire way as you hope it to be. Like, is running ads a surefire way? Absolutely not. But my goal with running ads is honestly so it alleviates energy from posting all the time. When are we getting the art study streams with traditional drawing with like Angels of October? Did I say that I'm doing that anytime soon? Like, wait, that's a weird thing to ask. Like, when are we doing that? When are we getting that? I'm like, did I ever say that I'm doing that? I don't know. Did I ever say that? Did I ever promise that? It's like you're going to a hot dog stand saying, "When are you making hamburgers?" Like, I don't know, dog. Like, like, where do you get that idea from? Like I stream so I can work on the comic. Because if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't be working on the comic. I would be honestly focusing on marketing the comic so I can go back to working on the comic full time. And if I had the marketing down packed, yeah, if I had the marketing down packed, then I would just probably try that out. Maybe. But I don't. So, hopefully, maybe, no promises, I'll do something like that. Maybe. But no. I'm streaming because I know somebody's going to be here. But wait, what do you do off stream? Like watching marketing content off stream? I've been swamped with like internet commissions. So swamped with that. As of like since like last week, I just been getting a flood of that of like those commissions. Um, I just been swamped with it. So like 6 hours, 6 hours out of the day, I would just work on commissions, and then like an hour, like 30 minutes, up until like what 6 hours out of the day, I'm doing that, and when I'm not doing that, I'm streaming here. 3 hours playing a game because Sketch is gonna be there, or up to 3 hours working on this comic, so I can focus on doing what I actually like to do. I actually love the idea in doing this and getting the word out of this. Do these commissions pay well? Yeah, for my lifestyle, yeah. I'm a very low maintenance guy. I'm a very low maintenance guy. And I've been making enough money from the commissions that I actually felt comfortable upgrading my CPU. My CPU that came out in 2020. I decided I paid for a new CPU, not a full PC, mind you, just a CPU upgrade, which is like what like under $300. Plus my rent that is like around $350 a month. And I want to eat better, but and that's just on top of me like going to like food banks to for food because my parents don't really cook. I have to cook. And if my parents aren't really, if my parents don't feel like including me when it comes to eating takeout, then I'm just gonna have to either go to the gas station to get some gas station pizza, or I have to find something to cook. I have to find a recipe to cook, which probably after this, if I have enough energy, I'm gonna try making smothered chicken. Well, I gotta see if my chicken is thawed, finally, and then I'm gonna make some smothered chicken. So that will hold me over for the next week. Um, but yeah, the commissions they pay the rent, and right now, they're paying for the ads again. I was paying the ads off of the money that I made off of investing, but I had to stop doing that because I was hitting a wall, and I didn't feel like it would be a good use of that money if I was just burning it without any direction of where to make it work. So now that the funds are kind of coming back up, I'm trying the ads thing again with trying to get eyes onto the blogs. And when I get more eyes on the blogs, I will focus on trying to sell the digital PDFs by people who are hooked on the story and they are emotionally invested in well, emotionally invested enough to financially support the story. And once I have enough financial investment for through the blogs, then that will give me enough of an income to go back to working on this full time. So instead of doing commissions like 6 hours out of the day, I can work on the comic 6 hours a day. You know what I mean? Because I would love to work on stuff like this day in, day out. Oh man, I would love to go back to my past routine of like working on this for like 3 hours, and then I would just write like future chapters for 3 hours, and then I would like find out how to market, doing things online for another 3 hours, and that would be my 9 hour day, right? I used to do that for like a couple of years, and that was fun. That was really good. That was very productive. But I really can't do that anymore. That was at a time when I didn't have when I didn't even have a finished book, you know? But now that I have like 3 finished books, full finished books, plus a one shot, and yeah, 3 finished books plus a one shot, and nothing really changed. I have to like find a way how to make some money off the library that I have already. And once I figured that out, then I can go back to making more content like this. I can go back to streaming. Well, I probably wouldn't stream more. I would just be working on the comic a little bit more. But if I stream, hopefully, well, it would be really cool if I streamed and I would like get more people on the stream, because from the ads, from people who were reading it from the blogs, and yeah, that's my pipeline right now. That's kind of my pipeline right now. I want to own everything that I make, and I want to, and like if I want to like collab, my dream is being able to collab with people that aren't imprints. I want to collab with people who want to like make further merchandise of this stuff. I think I said this on the stream before. I don't really want to be signed by like a public, like a Penguin Publishing or a DC or an Image or whatever. My goal at the end of the day is to reach people who are willing to do things for me that I really can't do by myself. Like I can't make toys by myself. Like a lot of people kind of go straight to like animation, which yeah, that is an asset, an asset about it, but it really has to be like multimedia. It has to be multifaceted. And if I can't really do that by myself, then that'll be really cool to like get get partnerships with other people to do that. Do you feel like if you stream once a week, do you have more people on the stream? I feel... No, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't think so, really. I really don't think so. Because there's a handful of people that shows up on the streams, and I only stream because I know there's a handful of people that shows up. So actually, no, I don't think more people would come, because the people who are active, who I know who are active, when it comes to watching the streams, they are most likely here already. Like you, F in this chat, Lamai. Sketch is though. I know Sketch is here, but Sketch is usually the video game streamer. I only stream video games because of Sketch. Yeah. So like, would there be more people to watch if I stream more? If I stream less? I don't think so. I'm not convinced that that more people would show up. Man, what I really want. Well, right now I am running stream. Well, actually, not only that. Actually, no. I don't. When you know how to do the ads right, it's not really that expensive, honestly. If you just don't blow your budget in like 5 days, you don't have like if you don't blow your budget in like 5 days, you will expend if you like spend like $1 a day, or like on it, or like up to $3 a day. You don't even have to do $3 a day. If you like spend $1 a day and just learn from that, you will learn like exponentially more about how the system works than blowing like $50 a day. You know what I mean? They're starting out like coming out the gates swinging at like $50 a day, blowing like $200, blowing $200 in a week, and not knowing what you do, what you're doing, well, what you're doing. Like the way that I do the ads, I spend like $1 a day, and I study the cost per the cost per click, and the goal is to get the cost per click as low as possible. Because I remember when I was like earlier this year, my cost per click on Pinterest was really good. I was like getting like 1 cent per click, and that was on the tier 1 countries like U.S., Canada, like European, like the not European Union, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, right? Specifically, like countries, tier 1 countries, and countries that speak English, right? In good currencies, which is kind of hard to do, but I was doing really good at that, and from doing that, I was, and like connecting Microsoft Clarity, so you can see what people are doing on your website and seeing what people are reacting to, what they're clicking, where they scroll past, and X, Y, and Z, what they're interacting with. I was learning a lot about like structuring the homepage, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, but until I found out that it's probably not the thing that I should do yet. I mean, my limit on a paid review would be $500 a year. If I spent more than that, I would get no return, and it would be a problem. Mm, I understand that. Like pacing yourself is kind of crucial. Like like $500 on a paid review per year. I'm interested in seeing what you do with that. Like I'm not gonna like if you're gonna know anything about me, first and foremost, I'm not going to deter anybody who has an idea, right? I don't think any idea. Well, I'm not gonna say any idea is stupid. I think there are some stupid ideas, but I think okay. Let me see if I can steel man what you're trying to do, right? If I can, I don't want to just put you down. I feel like I've been only putting you down with that idea. I think the best thing that you can do, $500 a year. Goodness gracious, I gotta be imaginative. I have to be like really imaginative with that. What I would do, what I would do with that, I would probably go to a person with that who's willing to do it for like $100. Who's willing to make something about it for $100, and with that, like 5 different people, pay them $100 Or you can probably go on Fiverr or something like that. Well, probably not Fiverr, because what you're gonna probably do is end up giving your money to somebody who's gonna like make an AI review of your comic anyway. Who's gonna make an AI review of your comic? Um, oh man, that's gonna suck. But if you find like real people who's able to make good videos of your good video reviews, I would do my absolute best to try to repost that stuff everywhere. What the heck, dude? What the heck, Ken? What the heck, Ken? Okay, I guess we're doing this. Come on now. What the heck, dude? Are we really doing this? Being like, yo, man, I just changed my mind. We're ready. Like, dude, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm mad. Whatever. I'm gonna freaking testing. 1, 2, 3. Allow. Ready to call. I'm gonna start the call. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Let me just. Da 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 da. Goodness gracious. Let me know you're ready. Goodness gracious. This guy. We're gonna free ball it. Oh. What topics? We're gonna free ball it. Come on. Come on. I'm just gonna put the call. Hello? Are you there? No answer. Great. I just read this. Okay. Let me. I'm okay. So Ken, I guess he just outed himself that he doesn't subscribe to me because he would have seen me going live. So outed first and foremost. Will you change the channel with Comic Ken? Yeah, I guess I will. I mean, I don't know. Will he join? Like, will he join? Dude, come on. I should make the original time. Just give or take 10 minutes. Some plan shifted. Okay, is the plans did the plan shift again on the other side? That was unexpected. Yeah, I'm kind of. Hold up, I can make the original time. I can make the original time. We might go. We might go extended, maybe. Like, here's the thing. Like, I hate Instagram to the very fiber of my being. Like, I will not let this app bother me when I do not open it. So when I contact somebody, I expect that'll be the end of it. We might this might be like an extra hour. I mean, if we go for an hour, that'll be like what like a regular drawing solo, like podcast type situation. Yeah, let me use the restroom real quick. Maybe he'll maybe he'll maybe he'll hit me up while I'm out, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll be right back. Yeah, he was active an hour ago. I was looking up on the app. Like, what do you mean he was active an hour ago? Honestly, the last time I did something, I called somebody was that was forever ago. No, that was no. The last time I called somebody on Instagram was coffee. Golly. Okay, I guess we'll give it like 20 minutes. He was online an hour ago. Or is he streaming right now? Was it coffee like off stream? I think the last I think all of our podcast was on stream. Was on a all of our calls was like on like podcasts on his channel. His channel or my channel. And or my channel. Okay, he's online. He's typing. I mean, how is he off camera? He's pretty much the same. I mean, I felt like I had good chemistry with him, like off camera, but it was like a short. But we were just bonding over the same thing. Well, I got to dip. I actually got to go to a wedding in a bit. Yeah, have fun at that wedding. Make sure you catch some bouquets, and well, like, have a good wedding. Catch some bouquets. Cut a rug, and all that. Yeah, so I guess we'll have it. Well, we'll see, because he's responding to me right now. I might be too late. It might be my fault. It might be my fault. How long's how long has Sketch been watching you? Uh, um, Sketch needs to answer that. Years. Sketch needs to answer that. Because it took a while for me to actually start doing his request of playing video games. And I only did it because he is an active participant in my chats. See what being an active participant in the chat will get you. Having zero chatters must be tough. Yeah, it is. I read your... Okay, he's asking me what happened. Give me a second. You're willing to drop in. Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, this is literally the first time something like this happened. I'm willing to... is he coming or no? It's up to him, really. I'm trying to salvage this the best that I can. If he's not willing... If he is not willing to do it, I'm not going to fault him. But we shall see. We shall see. Like, I would really hate for this to be something off of a wrong foot. So how do you come up with the names of your comics? I usually well, it usually comes down to what is what sounds catchy. It usually takes a day or two to find out the title of the comic. With Let's Go Metal Hero, that and I think I you can ask Matt. I'm just naturally good with coming up with names. Let's Go Metal Hero was like it took like a day or so to come up with because I knew I wanted the Let's Go. I wanted the Let's Go part because it felt pretty action packed. But but the Metal Hero part came along because I didn't have a name for the robot. So the robot, Metal Hero was just his name. Was just like what Malik and Michaela called him. Was that mostly what Malik called him, right? I thought like should I give the robot a name or I should just call him a Metal Hero, which he's just literally just a Metal Hero. So that's why I came up with Let's Go Metal Hero. Purgatory Academy was something that just okay, right. It's just something that just rolled off the tongue. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, he's not coming on. He said it'll be next week Saturday. Tuesday or Thursday won't don't work for him. He's doing client work at the moment. Okay. So I guess Ken's not coming on today. Oh well, yeah. I was planning on doing it like next uh Saturday anyway. Oh well. Oh well. GG's, you were right. Yeah. Give me Discord so I won't make the same. GG's, you're right. You're you're not a doomer, just a realist. Yeah, like I've been doing a lot of yeah. I've been around the block for a while, and I know how annoying it is to just get people together, especially if you don't know their schedules. Especially when there's no money involved. People are just more lenient when there's no money involved. He said he would have been around out of the house during this time, and when he said that, I'm like, all right, I guess that's it. But when he said like, but when he later said, oh wait, give me 10, like an hour later, after I read that and said, "All right, you do your thing." An hour later, he was like, "Never mind, I'll be ready in 10 minutes." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What? Okay, I can do it now." But now he says he's doing client work. So, well, he asked me what happened, and I was like, "What happened?" What happened? I'm not faulting anybody. I just think it's funny. He said like, "Hey, what happened?" I'm like, "What happened? I listened to you. That's what happened." Oh man, but whatever. We'll do it. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Saturday. What's the worst person to organize a just chatting with? Someone who's not going to show up. Someone who can't really get who don't understand their own schedule. Somebody who constantly flakes. Usually. But I think the worst person no, it's not really the organization. Actually, no, I get that. I said that wrong. The worst person to organize a just chatting with isn't really somebody who's not on time, because I'm just flexible, right? I can make any time work. You saw in the stream when I knew that he was available as soon as I could, I would just like hit him up and call him and be like, "Yo, I'm down. Like right now. Let's do it right now." Right? That's me. That's the type of guy I am. But the worst type of person to organize a just chatting with is somebody who cannot carry a conversation, or someone who is just not that interesting. And then people who aren't that interesting are people who are, well, easily just put, people who are just not interested in anything, or people who are just too self-absorbed in whatever they have to do. Or in another sense, people who are not interested in hearing out other ideas. Name? I think the worst just talking. Not just talking, just chatting. I think the worst episode of drawing solo was like this one guy who made a webcomic called Blacku, and it was it was kind of it was such a cringe episode. Like, not to his fault, it's just that he really didn't have anything to say. Granted, I was just picking up anybody who would just like join the mic, but it was a guy who it was very amateur. It was very amateur-esque. Blacku. Yeah, Blacku. Like Goku, but black. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I remember when I was filming that, I tried so hard not to laugh cuz it was cuz the guy just sounded like the epitome of gun and ball. If a game doesn't have gun or ball, I'm not playing. Just like it was just such a slog to get through, and no fault of his own. But I think the it's not really organization, because if you're flexible, you can make any time work. But the worst part is being with somebody who cannot carry a conversation. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Alright. Okay. Please, Instagram, please let me know when I misspell a word. I know that's not how you spell inconvenience. Oh, it is how you spell inconvenience. I'm like, I just no, wait, no. I was wrong. I was wrong. Yeah, that's how you. Okay. Oh wait, let me see if I can find the name of the video. Uh, let's see if I can find the video. Man, that was it, and I was looking forward to our conversation as well. I just absolutely hate Instagram with every fiber of my being, though. Why does everybody like going on Instagram? Dog. Oh man, I'm looking. I forgot I did podcast clips. I tried to clip the podcast, and even that didn't go well. Man, I even tried. Ah, man, that didn't even go well. Sometimes I'm like, why? Why even bother? Why even try? Okay, let's see. Did I upload it? I knew it was like kind of in the last. Yeah, I think I found it. No, wait, yeah. No, I think this one was probably the worst one. Hold up. It was like what sets apart a remarkable story. I just remembered this guy. Oh my gosh. No, I don't know if this one was Black Who. I don't think this one was Black. This one was just, but this one was also pretty bad because the guy didn't even have a comic. This one was pretty bad because the guy didn't even have a comic. He didn't even have anything. He didn't even have any art or anything. He was. I was like, okay, so what should I put? I remember I asked him, what should I put as like your insignia, as your icon? He was like, oh, I have this baby picture. Put my baby picture as my insignia. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, dude, what? That also shows how what kind of guy I am, right? Like I spent the time. I'm not a perfectionist. That's the type of guy I am. I'm not a perfectionist at all. If I put time and effort into something, then I will absolutely do it, and it will be posted. Like the only episode of the only I only had one episode of drawing solo that I did not upload because he was a guy I knew and we had a falling out. Like the the conversation directly after the podcast. I don't think I have the Black Hoot one. I probably deleted that one because it was too embarrassing. Because, like, let me look. Yeah. Did I? That's not it. Where did I put drawing solo? Where did I put drawing solo? Was it in recordings? No. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see what. No. That's not the guy. Terrence Jones, I'm Midori Jen, Chuck Cox, Norton, Chris Byrne, Nathan Lee, Comics, Chaser. Yeah. Dang. Well, I guess I probably deleted it. I mean, I do have the. I still have the episode of before I had a falling out with the guy I knew. It's not really a friend. How'd you find these people? Facebook groups. I remember I went on one group forum and I said, "Hey, I'm making a podcast. Like talking to anybody who makes comics. Hit me up, and we will set up a time." And yeah, I just got like around 15 people around 15 people, and some of them was just people were friends, well, not friends, but people I knew on my earlier years on the internet, like Orphic Sal and Quilling Dawn. Yeah, Quilling Dawn. And Chalupa was a guy that was just a YouTuber that just came across when I looked up webtoon. It's just a webtoon guy that I came across. I just shot him a DM or an email saying, "Hey, you wanna join the podcast?" And he was like, "Sure." Was the falling out really severe? Yeah, we don't talk. Yeah, after that falling out, like, yeah, he like we just don't. We just well, I mean, as severe as a falling out can be on the internet, because we just we unfriended each other from everything. Well, he unfriended me because I like people. Here's the thing: if there's a falling out, like, I'm chill. I'm the chillest person. They just don't like people. Don't like me. I don't care about any like. Like, that's a weird thing to say, but if there's a falling out, I don't make the first move. I don't make the first move, and if there is an issue, I will be the first person to try to patch it up. I will be the first person to extend the olive branch. Like, even with the circle of friends that I haven't rocked with since 2020. Like, I have always been the guy to extend that olive branch. People just don't. Even back when I was the first falling out that I had with the guy a guy I knew in high school that kind of inspired Purgatory, like the current direction of Purgatory Academy. Like I remember he at the end of the conversation, he said that I hated him. I didn't say that I hated him. He said, I remember the conversation I had with him. He's an atheist. He was an atheist. I don't know if he what I don't even know like what's going on with him anymore. I remember I told him I was talking to him about the doctrine of hell, and he said that he said that I hated him. I didn't say that. I told him that I didn't hate him, but he said that I hated him, and I'm like, I'd known you all of high school. If I hated like if I hated you, I wouldn't attend all of your birthday parties. I wouldn't have like you would have known. like you would have known. Like let me tell you this. If I hated you, you would have known. But I always found it I always found that interaction so bizarre. So bizarre. Because, like, how are you going to burn a bridge and then claim that I did it? That the other person did it? That's kind of how, like, all of my falling outs end up as. Like, I be myself. Like, when I'm disagreeable, I'm really disagreeable. But I'm not above patching differences. I'm not above saying where my faults are. Or where I messed up in communicating. Like, I'm willing to do that. But, yeah, the falling out was that bad. Where we just unfriended each other. And we came from the same friend group. And Matt was in that friend group. And yeah, he was one of the people who were like really liberal about slandering me behind my back. So there was that. And even after we fell out, he just kind of went back to slandering me. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's that. It's like that was like the same friend group where not really I met Matt, but Matt and I had this a very similar friend group for a while. Why were those people against you? Oh, simply put, when it comes to the topic of Christianity, I'm a very disagreeable person when it comes to Christianity. When it comes to Christianity, especially around atheists, and that those group of friends, they were, like they wanted to mock Christian. Like they were pretty liberal about mocking Christianity, and I was the type of guy to say, hey, if you're going to make fun of something, at least come correct, right? Like, if you want to say something is weird, you can say something is weird, but they were just saying stuff that just didn't make sense. And they just really didn't like that. It can get to a point where it would just be me versus the server several times. And generally the entire group was pretty, apart from like some people, the group that were very vocal about me, they were pretty left leaning, and me being a right leaning person, like shouting matches wouldn't be out of the ordinary. But at the end of like all of that, I still wouldn't have anything against them. It's just that they would have things against me. But I wouldn't have. But like, the funny thing is, like, it would always be behind my back too. So yeah, it's all in the past. All you really got to do is learn from it. Oh yeah, and the yeah, yeah. All you gotta really do is learn from it. Like they would do like a lot of sly things as well. Like they would make fun of me, and when why behind your back though? Why not say it to you directly? That sounds snaky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was pretty much. It was pretty snaky. Like they're all pretty much snakes, except for one of them, who was like pretty much a third party. But if it like if but honestly, I mess with Matt so heavy because they were like really open about slandering me, like when I'm not around them, when I'm not around them. But every time when like Matt was around, like Matt was like, no, Mason isn't like that though. It was like you like Mason like Matt would be the only person to say yes, Mason has his flaws, but he's not like that. So it like that's like the only reason why that's like the main reason why not the only reason, that's a big reason why I mess with Matt. He keeps it real. And like the guy the guy that I did the podcast with that I didn't publish, like he was like one of the snakes that talked to me behind my back, and I knew he would talk to me behind my back, but my motto was like, if you're not saying anything to my face, then you're not saying anything at all, which is not a good motto, honestly. Because if they're saying something behind your back, then of course I'm not going to say it to your face, because they're cowards, right? So I gave that like no. Here's how forgiving. I gave that guy like infinite. I gave that guy infinite respawns because like I knew he professed Christ. That's how that's how I that's how I work, right? Like I am so loyal to other Christians when I know that they have flaws. I'll be like so charitable to a flaw. I'm like, all right, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I know how it is. I know because of that understanding of that of a perfection that we all strive for. I know that we tend to fall short, right? But I I think the falling out was he was like he was doing it his own little cart he was doing his own little cartoon. He was doing his own cartoon, and he was implementing, and I wanted to like help him out when it comes to working on his cartoon, but he was very adamant about not letting me help with writing, which is like, sure, whatever. I'm like, you know how good I am with writing. You can just bring me on. But no, he'd rather not do that. And I found out that he was adding like LGBT characters in his like stories. And I'm like, don't you think that's weird? like turning main characters in a story gay. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to do as a Christian. Like weird thing to propagate in your cartoons. And he got like really defensive over it, and I'm like, I was like he got really defensive over it, and he just felt uncomfortable about the whole conversation, and he just said, "Don't at me ever again." And I was like, "All right, cool." That's putting it like simply. And I just like and I remember I was explaining the Fallout to like the other group of friends, and they're not Christian, so they were confused. They're like, "Oh yeah, let him put like gay, like let's make his like why not like make all his characters gay in this cartoon?" And I'm like, and I was explaining that's not really a Christian. I like that's not really a Christian thing to propagate, to put your name behind, you know. But hey, hey, was it like that when your friend group was being was state Was like that when your friend group started being friends? Did they harbor resentment since the beginning? No, not really. No, not really. Um, I didn't think so until Matt told me, well, like one of the people in the friend group said that he didn't like me for years. Like, it was very snake like. Like that one guy was very snake had like very snake like behavior, because I remember when I had a falling out with him. Well, I didn't have a falling out with him. Like everybody ghosted me, and I was like, "What the heck? Why is everybody ghosting me?" Out of why is my my friend group not contacting me or like being active in a server? And Matt came to me saying, "Yeah, everybody just switched servers without, and they didn't want you in it." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, let me? Is there a problem? I can talk to them if they want to squash anything." And Matt was like, "No, whatever happened, it's over. Like, they don't want to talk to you. That's just it." And oh yeah, Matt was in that like server. What else? And Bill. No, dang, name drop. But who? There's a bunch of Bills in the world. Um, but who cares? But when Matt was telling me, one of the guys within the friend group, he said that I was the guy that changed, and he was crying on the phone, saying that he remembers when there was where we had very good times laughing and singing and whatever, and like laughing and having a good time or whatever. And he said that I changed, but at the same time he said like there was a certain point that he didn't like me for years. So and I'm over here thinking, if there's an issue we can talk about it. But there was also but Matt was retorted saying that they said that they tried talking about it with me, but I'm a disagreeable person. So they thought it was a good idea to just, instead of coming to me as a person, as a man, and saying, "Yeah, we don't want you in our group anymore," like exiling me. They thought it was a better idea just to make a different server and just try again, just without the undesirables. And I ended up being one of those undesirables. And I remember at that time I took it like really hard because I really rocked with those guys. I felt like they were friends, but they just didn't like me for years. So mostly our community is young teenagers. They get indoctrinated into deviant subcultures. That's why animation's subversive shit. No, we were all in like our 20s. No, we were all like we were like the last generation of edgy Newgrounds. That was kind of like that's. I know you're right. Like deviant subcultures, like, but we were all pretty much like we were pretty much teenagers to adults, right? Edging onto like adults, and it was a lot of just. It wasn't like the current Tumblr esque stuff that was going on, because it was mostly guys, and it was just like kind of edgy. We're kind of leaning out of that edgy phase. It's crazy how they did you like that. Yeah, that made such an impact on me. I was like, okay, I don't really have friends. Like that made such an impact on me. I was like, okay, I don't really have friends. Nobody I talk to online is my friend. That hit me so hard. I'm like, nobody is my friend. Nobody like that. That's like that. I was like that, and I was like, no. But, however, I mean, I like there are people I really like, people I work with so well. But for a long time, I was like, yeah, nobody's my friend, except for like a few people that I'm willing to like call my friend, right, online, right. Like I really like Matt. I really like Levy. Maybe some other people, but Yeah, man, like man, that's nuts. It's crazy. Yeah, they did me. Yeah, they did me dirty like that. Like within that group, I've had like the best. I wouldn't say the nicest. I had like the best advice somebody told me, and the worst thing somebody has ever said to me, like in that same friend group, right? Like I think the best thing someone said to me was like the guy that said he hated me for years without even telling me, saying that I'm so good at what I do, I really don't need I don't need an animation group. I don't need a group to do what I do. I'm just that good. Um, he was like my number one. Like I was just that good, right? And that like the context of that was I was doing one of those reanimation things because that was like I know that's still more or less big, but it was still a thing in my group, and I decided, hey, let's all do a reanimation of like Gregory Horror Show, and I basically I was basically running that thing, and after that project, the whole animation group that I had, like nobody was serious. I was the only person that was serious about making something and doing something with art, and that's when the guy said that. And the worst thing that somebody said is, I, I remember I was like, the guy wanted to like, I was in a theological conversation, and the guy wanted me to comply that the seven deadly sins are like is a biblical teaching, and I'm like the seven deadly sins isn't really a biblical like my stand like I remember he wanted to make a point and he wanted me to like die on the hill that the seven deadly sins is a biblical teaching, and I'm like not really. If you look at the history, it's like saying that seven deadly sins is a biblical thing. It's like saying Dante's Inferno can be found in the Bible. Like it's heavily like it's just not. It's kind of like that. But because I did not abide to that, he said that my dad should be ashamed. Like they know that my dad is like a pastor, and they said like my dad should be ashamed that of my lack of biblical knowledge or something like that. It was like a deep cut. It was like it was a deep cut, and I was like, you are a slur. Like I'm like, he was like, man, you are just a toxic slur that I will probably get banned by saying if even the closed captions caught it. It reminds me of how we talk about leverage in relationship. Your perspective makes sense to me now. Oh yeah. I don't well, it's the idea of leverage didn't come from that. It mostly comes from looking at how networks treat their creatives, and how I had a lot of conversations with Matt saying that we shouldn't go with publishers because we don't have the leverage. If they sign us on, it'll be charity work. It'll just be a charity to them. It wasn't really about. I don't. Well, like if I had leverage within that friend group, would things be better? Probably not. If I had leverage in that friend group, I would have left. I probably would have left them if I had leverage in that friend group. Why I like the reason why I know that is because I had a different friend group. I had way more leverage. I was pretty much the center of that friend group. And when I didn't want to be in that friend group anymore, I just left. Like I just left. So if I had if I had leverage in that friend group, that they did me dirty, I wouldn't even be there, because people in that, well, people in that friend group. I would talk about the friend group that deserted me. Like they weren't really doing anything in their lives. They weren't really well, except for that one guy who I had the podcast that I didn't even record with, that I didn't even upload with. He wanted to do something, but he didn't. He wanted to do something, and I heavily respected him for doing that, for making something. But everybody else in that friend group, they were just vibing. They didn't really want to do something. Damn, questioning your Bible knowledge for something like that is crazy. Yeah. 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 It's like I think like that kind of experiences really just reinforces my belief that debating is just stupid and dumb and a waste of everybody's time. Like I don't even try to debate nobody. People just don't like what I have to say. And that also encourages, I think, being like my experiences with that friend group just also push me to like not want to be around anybody on the internet, to be honest with you. And it makes me so weary when it comes to anything that resembles an online friend group. Like that burnt me out so bad. I mean, even when I try to make new internet friends or internet friends with people who are kind of driven, it just doesn't really turn out in an interesting way. Like they're like it just doesn't really turn out in an interesting way. Like my my relationship with Levy is the strangest anomaly. Like I don't think in a million years I could ever have like a friend like Levy. I don't think in a million I think it's like by the grace of God that I have like somebody like Matt in my life as well. You know what I mean? Like people who are driven. Like Matt is driven. Matt is talented. He can write. He's charismatic. He like when we're both like last year when we went to DreamCon. Where did you meet Levy? I was just posting art online, and Levy really liked the art that I made. That was it. And like after that, then we just kind of, Levy was like he liked art that I made, and he asked if I had a Discord, and I was like sure, and he wanted to call. He liked voice chatting, and I haven't voice chatted with like just a random stranger, somebody who just liked my art online. So I was like, yeah, sure. And our personalities were just like that. So it was just easy. And this was before the falling out of the friend group. And the funny thing is, the friend group that I had a falling out with, they like Levy more than they like me. Well, which is not a hard thing to say, but they absolutely hated that Levy would prefer to hang out with me than them. like I remember Matt said that. So I remember like Matt said that a couple times. Like they just absolutely hated that Levy hung out with me more than they hung out with them. And when I told that to Levy was like, "Yeah, because they don't message me. like if they messaged him, he would hang out with them a little bit more. But I am more consistent with talking to him because he was consistent in talking to me. I'm like that. I reciprocate. Like, I will give people the time of day. Like, if you are fun to have a conversation, like this right now, like this stream right now, I am only streaming because you are talking with me, G4. Like, if you want to have a taste of why I'm good friends with Levy, you are experiencing it right now because you're active in the conversation. You show up, and I am reciprocating because I am reciprocating by streaming. Like, as long as I am. And like I said, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be working on this comic right now. I would be mostly working on finding a way how to like get generate revenue from this. I reciprocate. Like I don't do no ghosting. I don't ghost nobody. If I don't want to talk to somebody, I say I don't like small talk. If people who are bad at conversations, I say think about something to talk to me. If you want to talk to me, have a conversation, like have a topic, and then we can like go from there. You are a consistent person. That's what makes you likable. Thank you. Thank you. If I'm not so if I'm not rocking with somebody, I'll tell them. Well, mostly if I don't rock with somebody, it's because they don't really want to carry a conversation, or if I don't have time with them, I'll just say I don't have time. I'm just that. There are so many artists that I've interacted with who will just leave you on red, and that pisses me off to no end. I don't care if they're like, oh, I'm shy, man. Like a lot of artists, I get it. They're like in their feelings. I don't need this. I don't need this thing. I'm not listening to anybody. A lot of artists, they're like, oh man, I'm shy, and they just like look at a DM and they just leave you on red, and I'm like, you deserve worse. You deserve the worst things that happen to you to happen to you. But that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. Why do artists keep ghosting people? Because they're socially inept. That's my reason. Like a lot of artists, they want to be seen, but they don't like being seen. When they have all the attention that's anything other than praise, it's like they don't know what to do. That's my idea. I think a lot of artists are just socially inept, especially artists online. Like me, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm the same when I'm in person. But when somebody wants to like talk to me, I'm like, yeah, we can talk. I have no problem. But artists online, they're I don't don't really feel like it. But it kind of sucks. Going, but yeah, I'm pretty content, I guess. I'm pretty content. I don't really, yeah, like I said, I don't really, chill. Sometimes I feel like the art community lives in a different planet. They have their own social codes. A lot of people in the, well, yeah, I hate art communities specifically because it's just people trying to gain clout. No, I remember years ago when I was like in like a friend group art circle. It was a friend group / art circle, and we were like teenagers, and like kids were moving like they were like the kids were moving like they were in Mad Men. Like they wanted to find out who was the most popular person in the server. And if they found out who was the most popular, they did their best to kiss up to them. They did their best to be their friends. They did their best to like it's like all this it's like you have like these weird like 14-year-old kids, 13, 14-year kids like politicking. Like they didn't see people who in a server as people to like chill out with. They saw people in the server as like a resource to elevate them in their artistic status online. Like once you see that enough times, you're like, I need a complete child ban. How did you manage not to be affected by them? Because I was never popular. As you can see right now, I'm not popular. I was never popular. I never catch the attention of like the general internet audience. For like over a decade. Yeah, been on the internet for over a decade. Never really been able to like do that lightning in the bottle. I couldn't really keep up with the animation memes. I couldn't really keep up with drawing the hot topics because I never really cared about it, and because I didn't really optimize for fast growth, I didn't attract people who wanted fast growth. Nor did I care about people. Nor did I care about people with the clout because they were making things that I didn't care about. Because I was jealous. Because I was jealous. So that's why it didn't really affect me. Yeah, it's like it was just straight up weird, like weird Hollywood tactics, Hollywood movement for people who had like what, like 10,000 subs, like for people who had 10,000 subs, 10,000 followers on Twitter. They had the vanity metrics, and like if you saw what they were like making like fan art. They were making things that weren't really that cool. Because if they were making moves, they wouldn't even be in the server. The more you talk about your experiences, I get a sense where the ideas for Purgatory Academy came from. In what way? Okay, let's see. Because I'm not really writing with the intent of the religious debate and the friend group dynamic. I just think that's how people are, honestly. Um, like because like the way that like so far the friend groups have formed, like Travis, Jim, and Susan, they're friends by circumstance. Like they're friends by they're friends by proximity. But obviously, like Travis and Jim, they like each other a lot more than like like if there's a triangle, Travis and Jim are genuinely cool with each other, but like they don't have that much in common. But because they went through the shared experience, they just like they think they like each other. But like Susan and Jim, like Susan hates Jim, but Jim just doesn't hate Susan. It's just like a one way hate thing. But Susan likes Travis, and it's like a reciprocal thing. So everybody is cool with Travis. Like only one person is cool with Jim, and everybody's pretty much cool with Susan. Susan just doesn't like Jim. It's kind of like that. That's like the whole dynamic. of that. And the friend groups, that's just what I see when I'm like every time I'm outside or I'm at a party or if I want to if I'm at a party or if I'm around like other people or if I'm around a group. Everybody just kind of clumped together in their own groups. And when you're not even in a group, then like you just kind of have to make do. Like I don't really think about friend groups or cliques in Purgatory Academy. Like Travis and Ali, like the only like it's very consequential, right? Because like Ali is chilling with Travis because Travis has the clout of being the Satan Slayer, and Travis, he's pretty much cool with people as long as they have a like. Travis is pretty much cool with anybody, but however, like Travis is like kind of has his own beliefs of you gotta at least we kind of have to be on the same page of where we are if we share the same reality, and that's where they're like clashing. But yeah, anyway, Travis like Ali like he's around Travis because there is something to gain. And is Travis a self insert? Jim is more of a self insert than Travis is, honestly. I really like it's really easy for people to see that Travis is my self insert. I feel like Jim is more of my self insert because Jim represents like somebody who really, he, okay, actually no. Let me just say this again. Like Jim feels like more of my self insert because he is honest without care. He's honest without tact, without having any tact. Because that's how I was when I was young. If there was somewhat like if I had like people around my age, I would say, well, you're wrong. This is your problem. And the fact that I am willing to very much like Coffee Comics, actually. He's the perfect example. I gravitate to him because he is he is very blunt. And the other side of that coin is using I can't find the right word. Being mean as a shield of being honest. That's like the shadow side of just being honest. Because if you're honest with somebody, you want to see them grow as a person. The shadow side of that is just being mean and like trying to use honesty as a shield of just being mean. The reason why Susan doesn't like Jim because she sees him as him doing that, using honesty as a shield just to be mean to her. But Jim, he genuinely is like he does not have tact because of like how he was born. You know, like how he grew to like see life as it is. So when I had a lot of static with my friend group, I just didn't have tact when it comes to disagreeing. I really don't see myself as a self-insert of Travis. Travis is supposed to be like the everyman. He's supposed to be the guy that everybody can like relate to. Honestly. Travis is literally just the blank slate. Like he's just a blank slate. His goal in Purgatory Academy is to find out what he's meant to do and then do it. And then just do it. And then the twist on him being a blank slate is he is hoisted on being basically the chosen one, and he's like, no. Like everybody sees Travis as the chosen one, and he's like, no, that's not the point of this thing. There's no such thing as the chosen one. Like that's not why I'm here. And that's the irony of it. Like most people would relish in the idea of being, I am the chosen one, I am the Satan Slayer, I am the chosen one, I am the guy who freed everybody from the shackles of the first phase of Purgatory Academy. And Travis is like, no, I reject that, no. In fact, I really like what I did with Travis, because I established he had a history of having a short fuse. Like he was a impulsive person. If anybody slighted him, he would swipe fists immediately. right? He just didn't have that self control. But his dad, when he was growing up, his dad told him that he needed to have that self control because people are just gonna make fun. Like, you're not going to make your point if you just beat people up. You're just giving people another reason to make fun of you, right? To put it simply, simply. And then Travis took that to heart and he mellowed out. But it wasn't until he met Lucifer face to face where he lost his cool, and he basically killed. He tried to kill Lucifer because Lucifer just rage baited him, and Lucifer's like, "Yes, I need people like you. You are the twinkle in the eye of this project. We need more people like you in the Purgatory Academy to get people riled up so we can take over God." And Travis is like, no. Like, Travis is like, no. And now everybody knows that Travis is the guy that tried to kill Satan, and he basically saved everybody from phase 1 of Purgatory Academy. So everybody sees Travis as the savior, and he's like, and Travis is embarrassed by that because he basically lapsed, and he basically had a lapse in judgment. Like, everybody looks up to him because he had a lapse in judgment. So he is personally guilty about that. So when everybody says, "You're the guy," he's like, he's only reminded, he constantly gets reminded that people see him as the guy because he crashed out. And he doesn't want to be that guy. He doesn't want to be seen as the crash out. Like, so it's very ironic. So to put it simply, we see Travis. Wow, that's a really good story beat. Yeah, like, to put it simply, we see Travis, like, he's finished crashing out, but he crashed out, but because Lucifer rage baited him, he crashed out, saving everybody from the monotony of phase 1. Now everybody sees Travis as the crash out, but but with a positive connotation. So Travis is like, no, I don't want to be seen as the crash out. Like, no, I don't. He doesn't care if it's positive. He doesn't want to be the crash out. So that's why, like, in this book, he pretty much spends a lot of his time reclused in the library, just reading books. And he only goes out when a person he built a good rapport with, like Ali, wants him to do something like MMA. Damn, that must really mess with Travis's sense of self. No, he's like, the thing that I like about Travis is that he's very stoic with it. He's very stoic with it. It's not that it doesn't get to him. He's very focused. He's very focused. And he's not really a lot. Like, I remember, like, in a future chapter, I wanted to, like, have. Oh, actually, no, man. I don't know why I'm so cold at this, because I remember there was, like, a single panel of, like, chapter 1 of book 2 where Travis is just trembling on the fact that he did what he did, and then he gets snapped out of it the next panel by Jim saying, like, all right, what are we gonna do next? And he's just like, okay, time to put on this mask of, like, stoic. I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm chill. And there's another segment that's in a later chapter of this book where he's alone again, where he's reminiscing on this conversation that he's having with Ali. And basically the conversation ends with Ali saying that telling Travis that Travis is not as smart as he think he is, and he should focus on being a better fighter than trying to being a better philosopher. And that really hits Travis to the point that he like almost like screams into the void, but he gets again snapped out of it because somebody interrupts him before he's like able to like feel emotion again. So Travis is like a guy who's like he like it's like all that stuff is like over and over again. I don't know if I might like go back and think about it and like have him a moment, give him a moment where he really just crashes out again, or he just stays focused on the mission. For your characters' personalities, do you write bullet points, short characterization paragraphs, or do you just go with vibes? Simply put, vibes. I guess vibe. I want to say vibes to simply put what I actually think. I think all these characters are supposed to represent a certain philosophy. Like these characters are a philosophy manifested, right? And um, when I write in the sense, I it's a lot of it's like coming up like is pretty much on the fly, but everything it really surrounds a core of what is this character supposed to represent, right? Like as a whole. Like I don't really forget about a lot of plot points because I want everything to mean something, right? When you attribute meaning to things that happen in your story, it's a lot harder to forget. Like it's a lot harder to forget. So like with Travis, I don't really have a bullet point, right? Cuz when I think about Travis, I in Purgatory Academy, his whole thing is to be to be a stoic. And that's an idea. And I'm trying to imitate people. And the one thing that I know about people is that they fall short to their own ideals. Right? And that's where things can be interesting of why they might fall short to their own ideals. Cause like that's a really fun thing that I notice about writing characters specifically. Because I usually start with what actually no. I say this when I vend all the time. I say a story is essentially an argument. A philosopher once said a story is essentially an argument, and to bring my brain fogged. Sorry. A story is essentially an argument, and through that extent, a character is a different perspective of that argument, and that argument is a theme. And that theme, another way to think about a theme, is what is your unpopular opinion, and when you think about that, then every character is a different perspective of that said popular opinion. And when I and I put characters within the story, I think about where would this idea of this character think about this topic, or what's something that a character like this would say about this topic, right? And then you can think about scenarios and then plots and then X, Y, and Z. I usually think about the biggest picture first, and that is what am I trying to say? Because when you understand what you're trying to say, writing is easy. Writing is just easy for me because I always go back to the theme. I always go back to the unpopular opinion, and I always think about not only what this character would say in this scenario, but why this character would say this in this scenario. Like this chapter, for example, the whole point about this chapter is being on the same page of the fundamental reality of where Travis and Ollie are in Purgatory Academy. And Travis says it's important to take what you can get when understanding the basics of your reality, because even though it's coming from an unreliable narrator, even though these narrators like Lucifer or Beelzebub, even though they're demons, even though they're unreliable, but it's not nothing because they are in a supernatural place. So it would make sense to somewhat take supernatural beings at their word, right? Because this is their domain. And Ali, a Muslim, He's like, no, like these Jinn are evil. They cannot be trusted. Not even once. Don't trust a demon. Not even once. Not only that, Ali is like, I don't trust him to the point that we are not even dead. I'm not even that can be proven to me right now. And Travis is like, you gotta have a reason. You gotta have some reason to believe in what you believe. And of course, this conversation kind of goes into like it taps into the teachings of Islam because like the overall arcing narrative that I want to talk about with book 3 is truth, lies, and falsehoods, and the truth, lies, and falsehoods, and that is like the Islamic narrative towards Christianity. I want to like that was like the main idea that I want to do by put it within a blender of how can I convey these themes through in a way that these characters can talk about these themes or these topics that I can also get into the mind of the audience. And yeah, I do talk about like I even though like the initial spawn point of this book was how Islam gets the Christian narrative wrong. Mostly like how it does with telling with a mix of truth, lies, and falsehoods. I want these characters to engage with the concept of truths, lies, and falsehoods. So that's kind of why that's kind of how I do it. Like if I when it comes to like backstory or short characterization, a lot of characters can be very like one note. Like they don't have to be one note. They can start off with one note, and they can expand once you think, okay, why would they think this way? And when you ask the question, why would a character think this way? That's when it can also get a lot of fun. You can play with that. I know like a thing about like for example, Jim's backstory in book 2. That was that's pretty much written off the cuff, more or less. And I have a little bit of backstory when it comes to Susan, but the backstory is not really that interesting. Not that important. It's only important to fuel why a person like Susan would believe what they believe and why they would talk the way that they would talk. I feel like one point cartoonists will create AI of their characters and put situation in them, and instead of thinking of characterizations themselves, because they just can't do it. It's like a baby. It's like this is kind of like it's kind of like how babies, when they babble, they see adults talk and communicate, but they don't know how to do it, so they imitate the sounds and the movement of language, even though they're just saying utter nonsense. And when I see stuff like that, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it reminds me of. They're trying to imitate the process, but they don't know what they're making. In their own heads, they might think they're making something cohesive, but in reality, they're just clashing action figures against each other. And I feel like a lot of entertainment is that way, and that's why I don't really like watching a lot of stuff. I feel like a lot of entertainment is that way. But that's just how it is. That's just how it goes. Yeah, honestly, oh, man, I keep looking back at that question. of like how do I write character for like character personalities. I remember every time, like honestly, every time I hear like somebody talk about creating like a character's lineage, their history, their backstory, I'm like, dude, you're. I remember seeing a video of a person making a compilation of character of like of mangakas and writers, Japanese writers, how they write characters, and they're like, you have to write real people, and I'm like, dude, of course there's like a wide a range of philosophies on when it comes to like writing good characters, but and like literally I can't really say something unless I have like I don't know. This is just my 2 cents, but your characters aren't real. They'll never be real. Um, if anything, your characters are actors, their ideas to push your ideology onto the audience. And when you're not, and when you don't understand that power, or you don't think that's what you're doing, then you shouldn't be writing at all. The what was it? The writer for The Watchmen, what was it, Alan Moore? I think he understands that concept so well. I remember like Alan wasn't isn't that his name, Alan Moore? Well, the writer of Watchmen and V for Vendetta. I remember I saw I think it was like a Matt Several T videos where he was aware that writing that literature was a form of witchcraft because he saw how everybody reacted, or everybody was willing to make revolutions based off of the characters that he would write, and he just was afraid of that power that made him not want to write anymore. And I say, if that's your response to power, then you shouldn't pick up a pen ever. I think he was right to not want to write again. Unless he looks power dead in the eye and say, yes, I will use this to shape the world in a better place, then yeah, no, don't touch a pen. Don't create, ever. And if you want to create and you want to say art is subjective or whatever, you're just wasting everyone's time. You're wasting everyone's time. And if that's the case, then the death of the art, like, there are some people that deserve the death of the author, because some of these authors don't even know that they're alive. They write like they don't even know that they're alive. But yeah, I think it's 8 o'clock. I think I did pretty good when it comes to the line art, the lighting, the some stuff. Hope you all have a good Sunday. Man. I mean, I'm almost done with this. I might not even go for the backgrounds. For your paneling, do you take reference from Pinterest or other places to spice it up? See ya. Oh yeah, I try to use 3D references if I can for the backgrounds. Like references is pretty sometimes I take reference for sometimes I take references from Pinterest and other stuff that I can find. If it's like a really intense panel. See ya. Anyway. Yeah, you take care. Peace.